Hello, friends. I am uploading this chapter a little late due to some problem, but I hope you will like this episode very much. Amid the shattered remains of the battlefield, Liu Shang stands with the others, the weight of silence pressing down on them. He breaks it with a question that stirs the air. Could Cumberland still be alive? Marshal Saint narrows his eyes, the pieces falling into place. His suspicion is no longer a theory, it's the truth. Marshal Saint's voice is low, but steady as he recounts the grim truth. They didn't kill me, he says. The enemy struck with overwhelming force, crushing the sacred order and seizing control. But instead of ending my life, they locked me away imprisoned aboard one of their most heavily fortified warships, a flying fortress designed for war. He pauses, letting the weight of his words settle over the group. And now, even if we know where I was taken, we don't have the strength to break through their defenses. Not yet. Without a word, Liu Shang slowly raises his hand, his face calm and unreadable. A low hum fills the air, then suddenly, flames swirl to life around his arm, dancing like living fire, fierce and controlled. The others step back, eyes wide, as heat radiates from him, not just from the fire, but from something deeper. Resolve, power, purpose. With a single, fluid motion, Liu Shang unleashes a surge of raw energy. A blinding red beam erupts from his hand, tearing through the sky and slamming into the massive enemy warship. The air trembles. Metal groans. Then explosions ripple across the ship's hull as the beam punches clean through its reinforced layers. From behind, Marshal Saint and the others watch in stunned silence. Even he, seasoned and battle-hardened, can't hide the awe in his eyes. As the dust begins to settle and the glow of the blast fades, silence hangs in the air. Liu Shang lowers his arm, glancing at his hand with quiet curiosity, almost like he's inspecting a tool, not a weapon. He exhales softly, then speaks with a calm, almost casual tone. Tough armor, but nothing unmanageable. His words hang in the air, understated yet heavy with meaning. The kind of confidence that doesn't need to be loud to be felt. Liu Shang turns to face the others, the last embers of energy still fading from the air around him. Focus on the rescue, he says, his voice steady and clear. Get our people out safely. He offers a relaxed smile, reassuring, effortless, as if the chaos behind him is already forgotten. Then, without waiting for questions, he starts to walk away. Marshal Saint, he adds over his shoulder, there's something else I need to take care of. The way he says it leaves no room for doubt, only the quiet sense that whatever comes next, he's ready for it. The crowd stands in stunned silence, eyes lifted to the sky. Liu Shang rises into the air, flames bursting to life beneath him, brilliant streaks of blue and red trailing behind like the tail of a comet. The sheer force of his ascent sends waves of heat rolling over the onlookers. Gasps give way to quiet admiration. No one cheers. No one needs to. Instead, they bow their heads or raise their hands in silent farewell, an unspoken gesture of respect for the one soaring beyond them. In a blink, he's gone, vanishing into the clouds with a speed that leaves only fire and awe in his wake. Liu Shang bursts onto the scene like a living missile, shattering the air around him with a thunderous shockwave. Blazing energy crackles and swirls around his body, raw, untamed, and radiant, casting streaks of light in every direction. He's not just arriving. He's crashing in like a force of nature. Liu Shang soars far beyond Earth, a brilliant streak against the endless dark of the galaxy. A glowing arc of energy trails behind him, shimmering red and blue light, carving a path through the stars like a celestial flame. In the silence of space, his presence burns bright, unstoppable, untouchable, and seen even from worlds away. He stands quietly, eyes narrowing as he gauges his own strength. A calm certainty settles over him. His power has already soared to an astonishing peak. Studying the enemy's moves, he calculates swiftly in his mind. Their strongest fighters can't be higher than level 11. A slight, confident smile plays at his lips. The gap between them is wider than they realize. Liu Shang drifts silently through the void of space, his form calm and steady against the endless stars. Inside, a quiet storm brews. He reflects on the sudden surge of power coursing through him. Even he must admit now, the strength he wields has grown beyond his understanding. How strong he truly is, he can no longer say. Closing his eyes, Liu Shang lets out a calm breath. Though, in the vacuum of space, breathing isn't really necessary. For someone like him, it's become less about survival and more about habit and echo of his humanity lingering in the silence. He reflects quietly habits can be broken, just like quitting smoking or drinking. His body has evolved beyond those old chains, shedding the limits of ordinary humanity. Now, he stands on the threshold of something entirely new, a higher tier of existence, where the rules have changed. Hovering high above Earth, Liu Shang feels the vast, endless universe reach out to him like an old friend. For the first time, he senses the limitless flow of cosmic energy at his fingertips, no longer a distant force, but something he can draw from freely. Suddenly, a flicker of awareness sharpens Liu Shang's gaze. His expression hardens as a fierce surge of energy crackles to life, enveloping him in a blazing aura of raw power. From the far reaches of the horizon, a colossal eruption of violet energy explodes into the sky, shimmering and fierce, like a tempest tearing through the fabric of space itself. The raging wave of energy surges outward, tearing through the void with relentless fury, consuming everything in its path, leaving only devastation in its wake. In response, a dazzling figure of radiant gold begins to take shape, an embodiment of divine light and searing heat, summoned to stand against the relentless onslaught. Its presence blazes like a living sun, a beacon of hope and unyielding strength amid the chaos. A magnificent figure materializes in full, radiating a blinding golden light that pulses with immense, overwhelming energy. Liu Shang smirks, a spark of confidence in his eyes. "This," he says coolly, "is my first 9th grade divine manifestation. The exact form doesn't really matter. What counts is how devastating it is." He glances at the glowing figure beside him, clearly pleased with its raw, destructive power. As the radiant figure hovers high above Earth, Liu Shang envisions the terror it would unleash. Like a colossal divine palm, smashing down from the heavens, unstoppable and awe-inspiring. With a grin, he adds lightly, "Maybe someday I'll be admired just like those elegant celestial deities, if I don't scorch the world first." Liu Shang's voice cuts through the void as he calls out to the space pirates, "Get here fast and bring your best. If you're not at least level 11, you'll be crushed." His words hang heavy in the silence, a clear warning and a challenge. Liu Shang casually summons a swirl of dark purple energy into his palm, the shadows pulsing softly with his control. With a lazy smirk, he mutters, "Honestly, fighting like this is starting to get boring." He smirks, likening the battle to a human swatting at a mosquito, pointless, tedious, and utterly unsatisfying. He pauses thoughtfully, reminding himself to use this rare downtime wisely to reorganize his thoughts and carefully examine the priceless seed his master entrusted to him earlier. He lifts his palm toward the sprawling starscape, revealing the glowing seed, an enigmatic fragment known as the seed of the material universe, pulsing with untold power. On a distant desert planet, steeped in the remnants of a long-lost civilization, towering ruins rise from the sands like the bones of forgotten gods. The wind carries whispers of ancient power, still lingering beneath the scorched surface. At the base of the towering pyramid, a great gathering of people kneel in solemn reverence, their heads bowed low in absolute submission. The air is thick with silence and devotion, as if the very sand beneath them remembers the power they worship. Inside the opulent palace, A flamboyant man hovers effortlessly in midair, suspended by swirling currents of purple energy. Draped in lavish robes, he lounges as if gravity were beneath him, casually plucking bites of exotic food and sipping fine wine, completely at ease in his floating throne of indulgence. With a slight smirk, he adjusts his glasses and glances down with amused detachment. "So, is this all you've brought me?" he asks, his tone dripping with smug confidence. A courtier steps forward and bows deeply, his voice steady but respectful. "Everything within the royal treasury has already been surrendered, my lord," he says, keeping his eyes lowered, the weight of the moment pressing heavily on his shoulders. The anxious king steps forward, his voice tight with urgency. "These treasures, they took over a decade to gather," he pleads, hands slightly raised. "Everything we offered represents the very heart of our kingdom's wealth." His words hang in the air, part explanation, part desperate attempt to appease. Suddenly, the king's scream pierces the air. A glowing purple device embedded in his chest flares to life, pulsing with cruel energy. His body convulses as searing pain rips through him, the light intensifying. With each agonizing second, punishment without warning, mercy, or escape. The man in glasses watches calmly, his tone smooth and composed. "I don't care much for violence," he says, almost thoughtfully. But the sinister curl of his smile tells a different story, one of quiet cruelty. As the king writhes in agony, still shackled by the crackling purple energy, the man remains motionless, savoring the scene with unsettling amusement. With a flick of his wrist, the man in glasses tosses the shattered artifact aside, its pieces clattering across the marble floor. He exhales softly, adjusting his cuffs. "Well then," he says coolly, "time to go. Any further delays, and my associates might start getting impatient." His tone is light, almost playful, but the unspoken threat lingers like a shadow. The doors burst open as the princess rushes in, her voice cracking with panic. "Father," she cries, eyes wide with horror. She drops to her knees beside the king, who lies slumped on the cold floor, bruised, trembling, and barely conscious. Tears well in her eyes as she gently cradles his hand, the weight of fear and helplessness settling over her like a storm. The king's voice is strained, but urgent as he grips her hand tightly. "Go, leave now," he pleads, eyes flickering with fear for her safety. She hesitates, torn her heart screaming to stay and help, but the terror in his gaze urging her to flee. For a moment, time seems to freeze as she wrestles with the impossible choice. Defying his desperate warning, the princess clenches her hands before her chest, her palms glowing with fierce purple light. Determination hardens her gaze. She's ready to face whatever comes, no matter the cost. One of the invaders sneers, his eyes gleaming with cruel amusement as he realizes the princess's worth. With ruthless speed, he lashes out, his hands glowing with ominous energy as they clamp around her from behind. She struggles fiercely, panic flashing in her eyes, but his grip tightens, cold, unyielding, and inescapable. A blinding beam of light seizes her, ripping her away against her will. Her desperate cries pierce the air, echoing through the chamber like a haunting lament. The king lunges forward, his voice breaking as he screams, "Return my daughter. Bring her back." But his pleas vanish into the void as she's dragged further and further from his grasp. The ship roars to life, tearing away from the surface of her home planet. Stars blur into streaks as it accelerates into the vast, cold expanse of deep space, carrying her far from everything she's ever known, hurtling toward an uncertain destination. Aboard the spacecraft, the princess hangs bound and suspended in midair, her restraints glowing faintly against the cold metallic walls. Her eyes flash with defiance, even as the sterile silence of the chamber presses in around her. Inside the sleek spaceship, the man in glasses activates a holographic video call, his eyes narrowing. as the flickering image of his ally Ghost materializes before him. "Status report," he demands calmly, his voice edged with quiet authority. Ghost's image flickers to life on the screen, his expression cool and composed. "What's the problem?" he asks, his voice steady calm on the surface, but with an edge that suggests he's ready for anything. Ghost's voice is steady, but laced with concern. "The life signal we were tracking. It vanished without warning. Oddly enough, the ship itself hasn't moved an inch from its original position." He pauses, letting the weight of the mystery settle between them. Meanwhile, within the dreamscape, Liu Shang stands amid crumbling ruins, a profound realization dawning on him. This desolate space isn't just any place, it's the very interior of the cosmic seed itself. Everything else has been wiped away, leaving only this shattered battlefield as a ghostly remnant of what once was. Liu Shang stands in a serene, meditative stance, his body radiating a brilliant, radiant energy. In this quiet moment, he reflects deeply how everything from his past, once shattered by his master's will, has now been reforged and woven seamlessly into the very essence of his martial path. At the heart of the system, several glowing red holographic data modules materialize, each containing advanced techniques, vital resources, and powerful predictive tools. These remnants of the original database have not only survived, but evolved, growing stronger, and shedding all reliance on outdated or false projections. Liu Shang explains calmly. "The database now connects directly to the very source of the universe. Before, my access was limited, shallow at best, so the predictions were fragmented and incomplete. Now, with deeper access, the data flows with unparalleled clarity and depth." Now, Liu Shang holds the full potential of this planetary seed in his grasp, though it accounts for only a microscopic fraction of the universe's boundless power. It is the crucial foundation, the first inch carved out after an infinite string of zeros. From this seed, the limitless possibilities of creation and transformation begin. Liu Shang contemplates quietly, knowing that to ascend to the 16th foundational level and truly refine the universe's essence, he must first conquer the core energy pulsating within this cosmic seed. Only by mastering it can he unlock the profound power hidden at the heart of existence itself. He reflects on his extraordinary journey from a humble street sweeper at a remote base to a formidable force capable of shaping entire planets. Now, his sights are set even higher, to refine the core of a star itself, unleashing a power that will ripple across the galaxy and expand his influence beyond imagination. Alone in the vast expanse of space, Liu Shang stands surrounded by swirling planets. Even after absorbing the full energy of one, he knows how insignificant that power is against the boundless scale of the universe. Yet, if he continues to grow, if he dares to expand beyond, he may hold the power to reshape the very fate of galaxies. A confident grin spreads across Liu Shang's face as he clenches his fist tightly. He knows deep down that one day, he will rise to embody the very essence of the martial Tao, a legend forged by his own will and power. And with that, friends, this chapter comes to a close. What surprises and challenges await our heroes next? We'll find out in the next chapter. If you enjoyed this part, please don't forget to rate it out of 5 stars in the comments below. We love hearing your feedback. What are your predictions for the next chapter? Share your thoughts and theories down in the comments. We're excited to see what you think. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on what's coming next. Until then, take care and see you soon.